Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks so much for checking out the third episode of Dry Bun Studios. Today we're jumping into John 1 and kind of taking a look at what does it look like to introduce people to Jesus. So before we jump into the passage that we're reading today, going to take a look at a little bit of some context that's beforehand so we can kind of understand the situation. So before we start reading, John the Baptist is out with a bunch of his friends. He's discipling them. He's kind of helping them kind of see what religion is all about, kind of get a better understanding of who God is. So he's with a bunch of his friends. Two of these people are Andrew and Philip. You could say that they're disciples of John the Baptist. They're hanging out with him during this time. And then Jesus walks by, and John says, right there is the guy that we are supposed to be following. And so, of course, Andrew and Philip are intrigued by that, and they want to go meet Jesus and kind of engage with him and see what he has to offer. So then the more that the story goes on, Andrew begins to follow Jesus. So then he goes and invites his brother Simon, which is later Peter, to come and meet Jesus and see what he's all about as well. The next day, Philip interacts with Jesus again. And that's kind of where we're going to pick up is in verse 43. So we're in John 1, verse 43. Says this, the next day Jesus decided to leave for Galilee. Finding Philip, he said to him, follow me. Philip, like Andrew and Peter, was from the town of Bethsaida. Philip found Nathanael and told him, we have found the one that Moses wrote about in the law and about whom the prophets also wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Nazareth, can anything good come from there? Nathanael asked. Come and see, said Philip. When Jesus saw Nathanael approaching, he said to him, here truly is an Israelite in whom there is no deceit. How do you know me? Nathanael asked. Jesus answered, I saw you while you were still under the fig tree before Philip called you. Then Nathanael declared, Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. Jesus said, you believe because I told you I saw you under a fig tree. You will see greater things than that. He added, very truly, I tell you, you will see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending from the Son of Man. So reading this is an important passage because of two things that I want to make clear as we read this. If there's two things to take away, the first one is a better understanding of what the Great Commission looks like, of what evangelism looks like. And this is something that is kind of made clear to us here about how easy it can be. When Philip is going to meet Nathanael and tell him about the time that he sees Jesus and wants Nathanael to come with him, all he says is come and see. Come and see is a common term that we see used kind of frequently in the Bible a little bit of what does it look like to meet Jesus. This is something that we could see when Jesus goes and talks to the woman at the well. He tells the lady everything that she's ever done, all the men that she's been with, the struggles that she's had in her life. And she realizes that Jesus is who he says he is. And so she runs to the town and tells everyone in the town, come and see. This man told me everything I ever did. We see in a few verses before the one that we read today that Jesus says, come and see to Andrew and to Philip when they ask, where are you going? What are you doing? Jesus just responds with, come and see. So when I read this passage about Philip introducing Nathanael to Jesus, only with the term come and see, this really shows how easy it would be to help someone else meet Jesus. Philip sets the table for Nathanael. To meet Jesus, he starts it off with the opening line, come and see. When Nathanael meets Jesus, everything changes for him. His life gets flipped upside down, and he starts following Jesus everywhere he goes. And then after Jesus has gone back to heaven, after the resurrection, Nathanael goes to start the church and India and Armenia, which between those two countries now has a little over 5 million people following Jesus. So from one opportunity of come and see, 5 million people's lives have been changed through that one experience. So if I can encourage you to invite somebody to something, all it takes is a come and see, whether it's to a Bible study, to church, just to pray with them. If you can invite somebody with a come and see, you don't know what the Lord will do after that. The second thing to point out in the story of Nathanael and his testimony is that God is always present with your circumstances. Now in verse 48, it says, Jesus says to Nathanael, I saw you under the fig tree. And now this could definitely be a physical tree that Nathanael was sitting under, and Jesus saw him during that time. But more commonly thought, under the fig tree is a symbolic term, meaning someone is patiently waiting. And that's what I kind of take away from this, is Nathanael is patiently waiting. From his conversation with Philip earlier on in the story about how they're talking about Moses and what Moses prophesied about Jesus coming, Nathanael is waiting for something. He has hope. He is, in this time's phrase, under the fig tree. He's sitting there waiting patiently. And so for Jesus to say, I saw you under the fig tree, Nathanael was waiting for Jesus, for the Messiah to come. If you are patiently waiting for hope, you're waiting for your hard season to end, it'll happen soon. But I want you more to take advantage of this passage, that Jesus sees you under the fig tree, that Jesus sees you patiently waiting for your season to end, that Jesus is fully with you in that time. Take heart and take advantage and take some confidence from this passage today that Jesus sees you under the fig tree. He sees you hurting, but there's hope with that. He's still going to meet with you. Thanks so much for checking out Dry Bone Studios today. Hope you really enjoyed the small passage that we kind of dived into today. I'll leave a link in the description for a couple other videos that we've done. And then, of course, have a great day.